What's up guys, Josh Mott here and welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Over the years we have learned that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and in some cases maybe it is. So why has intermittent fasting and skipping breakfast become so popular? Well, in this video we're going to break down everything that you need to know about this popular diet, and then you can decide for yourself. Let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing that I want to mention, and I've said this on this channel many times, and that is, it is very important to understand that there are many successful approaches to weight loss, and you need to find one that you can stick to long term. With that being said, sometimes it's better to try many different approaches to figure out which one works for your life and your lifestyle. When it comes to intermittent fasting, I hate that word. When it comes to intermittent fasting, it's hard to say that it's a diet per se because there's no real step-by-step outline of what you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating. Rather, it's about choosing a time of when to eat and when not to eat. Having a specific window of eating and then an even larger window of not eating. Ideally, this can be approached in a few different ways. One of the more popular ways is a 16-8 approach, and what that basically means is that you're fasting for 16 hours straight, which is going to include the time that you're sleeping, and then you have an 8-hour window to eat. As an example, if you eat your first meal at noon, then you'll need to stop eating by 8 p.m. That's that 8-hour window. If you eat your first meal at 10 a.m., then you'll need to stop eating by 6 p.m. If you eat your first meal at 4 p.m., then you need to stop eating at midnight. This gives everyone an opportunity to do intermittent fasting based on your own lifestyle. We obviously don't all have the same lifestyle, we don't all have the same schedule, so this is going to make it easy for everyone. As long as you're giving yourself an 8-hour window of eating time and no more, you can essentially set that window whenever you want. That means some people are going to set it and skip breakfast, other people are going to skip dinner, but you want to make sure you set this window at the same time every day so you do not starve yourself by moving it around a lot. So make sure you set that 8-hour window so your body can adapt. Here's a 2-week example. So as you can see, this is an example if you were to skip breakfast. The time is the same every single day for the week, and this is an example if you were to skip dinner, keeping the same time for the week that fits into your lifestyle. Others could take an even more extreme approach by only giving themselves like a 6-hour window or even a 4-hour window of eating time. Now if you're going to do this, this is a little bit more advanced, a little bit more strict, and you want to make sure that the reason is a good reason to do that, or else it might become a little bit too difficult to maintain long term. Another approach that I would highly recommend is a 24-hour fast once a week. This is what works best for me. So essentially you're eating the same meals all week, Monday through Saturday as an example, and then Saturday your last meal is going to be 8 p.m. as an example, and then Sunday you're going to skip breakfast, you're going to skip a lunch, and then your first meal on Sunday is going to be 8 p.m. So it's a 24-hour fast, and within that 24-hour period you're basically just drinking water and maybe some green tea, a little bit of caffeine, a little bit of energy. This can cut back roughly 2,000, maybe 3,000 calories that you're consuming throughout the week, which can be very beneficial. Now, you might think that because you skipped one meal that you're going to overconsume on the other meals, but let's look at it this way. We're going to keep it real simple. Let's say you eat 1,000 calories for breakfast, 1,000 calories for lunch, and 1,000 calories for dinner. If you skip breakfast, now you're down 1,000 calories. Yes, you might be more hungry for lunch and dinner, but you're not likely to add an additional 500 calories per meal to make up for breakfast. That's going to be 1,500 calories for lunch and 1,500 for dinner. You're not likely to do that. Yes, if you're eating like a bucket of ice cream or something like that to make up for it, you definitely can, but if you're choosing the right foods, you're not likely to add in an additional 500 calories to each meal. Maybe you add in additional 300 to each meal, but then you're still down 400 calories for the day, which is still a deficit. When you're intermittent fasting, you're likely to burn more body fat as well. Now, this isn't going to be a massive difference, so do not take this out of context, but look at it this way. If you're eating 3 or more meals per day, you're likely going to get your energy from those meals when you eat them. So you eat breakfast, you get the energy from breakfast. You eat lunch, you get more energy. You eat dinner, you get more energy, right? You're getting the energy from the glucose, from the carbs that you're getting from that meal. If you were to skip breakfast, your body still needs energy for the day. So what it's going to do is it's likely going to pull from fat storage and convert that into fuel. Therefore, you're likely to burn more body fat while you're fasting. But again, this isn't going to make a huge difference, so do not get your hopes up, but technically this is true. So why should you try intermittent fasting? Well, there's many reasons. Number one, it's less inconvenient. If you're trying to lose weight and you're responsible for 3 to 5 meals a day, that can take a lot out of you. More prep time, right? If you're only eating twice a day, it ends up being less work overall for a similar outcome. Now, I'm not not saying that being lazy is the answer by any means. What I'm saying is that as a beginner, when you're starting your weight loss journey, it can be overwhelming at times. There's a lot of factors that go into it. So if you can limit those factors or limit those responsibilities, it might help you get over those beginner stages. Number 2, going into a calorie deficit. Like we've talked about before, it's easier to be in a deficit if you're eating fewer meals throughout the day. Even if you fast for 1 day a week, that's still less calories overall for the week. Going into a calorie deficit is the only thing that matters if you're trying to lose weight. Now keep in mind, I'm not talking about being healthy. That's a different ball game. Yes, if you're intermittent fasting or anything else, you should definitely choose healthier foods. Whole foods that are nutrient dense and low in calories if you're trying to be healthy. But when it comes to weight loss by itself, whether you're eating healthy foods or not, going into a calorie deficit is what's going to make the difference. And number 3, it saves you a lot of time. Again, having to make 2 meals a day is faster than making 3 to 5. Many people find themselves with little time to exercise when they have kids, a job, and other responsibilities. So creating more time for yourself throughout the day could be the lifestyle change that you need to add more exercise into your routine. Now, even though this diet definitely has its benefits, there's no real reward that doesn't come with consequences, even if they're very small. And intermittent fasting definitely doesn't have more negatives than it does positives, but there are some things to watch out for. Number 1, you might feel really hungry in the morning if you skip breakfast. Obviously, if you built up a habit of eating breakfast every single day or eating something every few hours and then you break this habit, your body isn't going to react well. You might feel like you're starving for a moment, but this moment will pass. Your body is going to adapt to skipping breakfast or skipping dinner just like anything else. It might take a few days, but if you can push yourself past those first few days, it will happen, and then your body adapts and you're going to be in a good place. Number 2, you might have a lack of energy. Yes, you might feel fatigued at first. Again, your body is used to using that first meal as its energy source in the morning. If you don't have that meal, then you'll have less energy throughout the day, but again, you will adapt. Your body wants to be energized. Your body wants to survive. So if you don't feed it its normal energy source in the morning, it's going to find its energy somewhere else, and that's where body fat comes into play. Your body will adapt and start converting fat into fuel once you run out of glycogen. And again, you're going to have plenty of energy once your body adapts, which doesn't take long. And another thing to keep in mind, just because you decide to do intermittent fasting does not guarantee weight loss. If you skip breakfast and then decide to eat 4,000 to 5,000 calories of ice cream throughout the day, you're not going to be in a deficit and you will not lose weight. So don't use this strategy to justify eating junk food all day. It's still going to require some effort on your part by choosing the right foods that are going to keep you full and satisfied throughout the day without over consuming on calories. Now, as far as how many calories you should be eating, this part doesn't really change. You need to be eating for your goals. If you need to be eating 2,500 calories to lose or maintain weight, then you need to be eating 2,500 calories during that window. So that part doesn't change. Fasting is basically going to make it easier to be in a calorie deficit and lose weight because you have a smaller window of eating time throughout the day. If you want a general idea of how many calories you need to maintain your metabolic rate and your activity level, check out this video right here. Do some quick math and adjust your calories based on your goals, whether you're looking to lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight. If you want to do more of a trial and error, then just start fasting and just eat whatever you need to during that fasting window. And if you're losing weight, then you're doing it right. If you're not losing weight, then that means you're over consuming during that window and you need to cut back a little. All right, some last minute tips if you're considering intermittent fasting. Number 1, if you want to work out during your fast, I would start with something small, something like walking or something like that. The last thing that you want to do is burn yourself out, make yourself weak, or make yourself sick by overdoing it. And another thing, if you're feeling really hungry during those first few days while your body's adapting, then find something to keep you busy. This is going to take your mind off of it while your body's adapting so you can get through that hunger stage. And another tip, listen to your body going through your fasting cycles. This is going to make sure that you don't overdo it. If you can only fast for 10 hours or 14 hours instead of the 16 hours, that's completely fine. It's at least a great place to start, so listen to your body. And the last thing, if you have any health conditions, do not start anything without talking to a doctor. Safety is going to be the most important. All right, guys, that is it for the video. If this video brought some value to you, make sure you give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, and check out those ebooks that I have linked below, as well as all of the equipment that I use to stay in shape year-round at home. Check it out if you'd like. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you guys on the next video.